There you go. Take notice and make known. That is Kevin. Well, it's not Kevin Douglas Wright singing Iona Amarita, but on the horn we have Kevin Douglas Wright. How's it going, Kevin?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show, Bruce.
And we hear all the wrong things about Florida, other than Disney World and Epcot Center, of course, because I don't know if there is a more perfect place on the planet. But out of Florida, some real good has come. And Thursday was Bell Let's Talk Day for mental health awareness. And part of that, they turned to childhood trauma is a big catalyst when it comes to mental illness in adults. And one of the biggest things, one of the biggest traumas that children face, other than outright abuse, is bullying. And Kevin, you are a filmmaker, but you decided you were prompted to write a poem, and then it became a song. Yes. Take us through that process. What finally was the straw that broke the camel's back, and you said, I got to do this?
The main situation was just watching the news late at night one night, and watching a video that one of the bullies actually took of themselves. It was seven kids that were attacking a 13-year-old. And in that video, you see cars driving by and no one stops. Eventually, they found out that no one actually called the police. And in the video, you could hear the kids screaming for help. And where this took place was a neighborhood full of apartments and houses. And eventually, finally, one car stopped to help, but it was after maybe 5 or 7 minutes or so. And that was the main thing that really just made me say, okay, I mean, someone else could do something to try and convince someone to just, if they see something that doesn't make any sense, just to either stop or call the police or someone of authority.
And what you were sitting there and you saw this.
Yep. And the first thing that I actually did was I just tried to. I'm always writing stuff, whether it's for like a script or something like that, or a poem or something that rhymes. And so I just tried to capture that emotion and that feeling that person, that victim, is going through, like what's going through their mind, because they're screaming for help and no one is saying anything. I wrote it out as a poem first, just so I would just remember what I was thinking at that moment. And then I distributed the poem on the internet just to friends and family, just to try and get some feedback. And then when I got some good feedback from it, I just kept thinking, I said, well, I do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff for music with my film. And I said, well, let me maybe see if I can just turn this into a song. And then that's how I tracked down someone that was actually available to be the featured artist, which was her name is actually pronounced Joanna.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but it's spelled Ioana. So it's Joanna Amarita.
Up here with all the Icelanders and Scandinavians, if it's an I or a J, it's an I.
Yep. So I had to ask her a few times. I said, okay, so it's definitely pronounced Joanna. She said yes.
Well,
so,
our apologies. Our apologies to Joanna. She's not the first name we've mangled on the show, so she's in good company. Tell us about this fine singer. What a voice!
Yes, definitely. And what I liked most about her was her style, and it was so easy to work with her. She captured the emotional impact of that song on the first go around. I mean, unbelievable. She's definitely a very talented singer and composer and everything else in that space.
And before I forget, let's tell people where they can find this online. EducateZap.com.
Yeah.
And that's your homepage, and they'll go, film school, but the poem is on there. They can find it, and all the incredible feedback. Let's take a quick.
It's also available on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon. You can get it on there also. Oh
yeah, all those other places. I'm catching up, folks. I mean, it only took me how many years to get a cell phone, so. I'm my grandpa at like a third of his age, but well, let's take a little side. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your filmmaking, because everybody always wants to know what's behind the scenes.
I love that. I've always since being little, I always wanted to do it. And then finally you just get to that point in your life where you do have the time and you get a chance to try and focus on your passions. So I wrote a movie. We filmed it. Right now it's in post-production. So it's still a little bit, I'd say about another 6 to 9 months away. But it's a psychological horror movie, like a scary movie.
You had us at psychological.
Yeah, definitely.
What film should we be? What title should we be looking for when it comes out?
The name of the movie is Royal Love Story from the Grave, and you can actually, if you go into YouTube, you can find the trailer there. It's Royal Love Story from the Grave, and you'll see the trailer there.
We have a lot of horror fans here in the city, and a few horror filmmakers as well. We're going to get that at the top of the hour. Kevin, thank you for joining us today. It's on the website, it's on iTunes, Amazon, everywhere. What do you hope to inspire? What do you want people to take away from this?
I think the main goal that I had for this particular song was just when someone sees something and they hesitate, just really maybe go back, if you got to swing around the block, or go back and just look if it's in a classroom or if it's just in a neighborhood somewhere or a store, and you see something that just doesn't look right. I just hope that song is easy to listen to. That's what I feel. And then after listening to it, if you listen to the words a little bit, it just might remind someone just to take a second look, just to make sure nothing bad is happening to someone that's looking for help.
Were you aware of the impact? I mean, you addressed it to those of us, everybody that you're watching and nothing's going on, and it's the standers by. Stand buyers? No, standers by.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the whole English language is faltering. But did you realize the impact you'd have on the victims of bullies and how much the song would mean to them?
Because it was so close to me, it was my nephew, like you could see it on their face when you ask them questions like, so how's everything going? And sometimes you see that they don't, I don't know if they don't want to say it's still going on because they just know you're busy, you're working, or, you're just, as adults, you're just living your life. And that's what I see on their face. It's like they want to tell you, but they kind of don't want to tell you. And you got to really pull it out of them. So that's where I felt that if they're listening to that song, it does have a very, very strong emotional impact.
Well, Kevin, thank you for joining us today, and enjoy sunny Florida. I'm assuming it's sunny.
Yes, it's sunny. It's a little chilly for us. It's chilly.
Yeah, well, it's a little warm for us. We're actually at +1 right now.
Wow.
We're getting a Vancouver complex.
That's cold. But we do get a lot of Canadians that come down here. A lot of Canadians come down here during this part of the year.
You got Disney World, man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
And one of the biggest Disney fans in the world is here from Winnipeg. Chris Reed. He does. You may not know his name, but you'll hear his voice here and there in the park. He is the voice of Disney Radio and this and that.
Really.
So, yeah, the world is shrinking in all the right ways. Kevin, thanks for joining us today, and have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you, Bruce.
Once again, take notice and make known. It's that beautiful. You got to hear it twice.
Have a good day.